Now, I should have mentioned this off the top. If anyone viewing has any questions, has any questions based on what we talked about or anything around human capital for small business, put it in the chat box. And Matt in the background here will post it for us, and happy to answer questions. And that's where we're at now. So Matt, do we have any questions? How do I know when it's time to change a process to help stimulate growth? And that kind of great question. And it piggybacks on what I was just saying. If you're grinding and throwing everything you have at growing your business, and it kind of is where it is, that would be an indication that you need to change the process. So I call that, in the Keyhire world, we would call that kind of the red lined Miata. And when we talk about a red line Miata, it kind of equates to your process. So if you look at a Miata, the engine being your operation or delivery mechanism, and if the driver of that car were your sales team, if you're in a Miata and you have your foot to the floor and you're going as fast as you can, and you want to pass someone, what can you do? And the answer is nothing. You can't put your foot any further down to the floor. And if you run your engine that hard for too long, it will melt. It's going to blow up. It's going to stop working. And so if your operation is a red line Miata, if you're running full tilt, people are falling over each other, you're adding shifts, it's hard, and you're just getting a little bit more delivery out of your business, you probably have a process that needs to be looked at. And that would go back to, if it's in the operation side of the business, putting in some lean processes. Health and safety. When you're running that hard, health and safety becomes paramount. And I'll give you a key as a small business owner. If you're ever looking to hire an operations leader, this is what you want to hear. Safety is first, quality is second, everything else is third. People that are well trained and understand how to run an operation understand that health and safety is number one. They'll even go as far as saying, I want all my people to show up with the same number of fingers and toes. They go home with the same number of fingers and toes as they came to work with. No one wants to call a spouse and say, we had an accident at work today. And when you start pressuring an operation and pushing it beyond its limits, health and safety and quality are the two things that are going to suffer. So that's how I kind of assess a business when I go in and look and say, here's your processes, and here is where your constraints are. Here's where your bottlenecks are. Here's where things are getting jammed up. This is what we need to look at. Here are the areas we need to address in terms of bringing in experience and capacity into the business. Hope I answered that one for you. Matt, what else do we have? I want to give more responsibility to some of my employees. Is there an effective way to expand their roles without overwhelming them? Yes and no. Again, we're talking small business here. So oftentimes, my background years ago, I was a hospitality guy. And there's two scenarios I'll share with you. Number one is the busboy who wants to become a server. And they say, hey, I really like to become a server. And you as a restaurant manager say, I'd love to make you a server, but you are such a good busboy. I can't lose you as a busboy. Then the next day they come in and hand you the resignation and say, the person across the street hired me as a server. So it's the good busboy scenario, right? But it's like, I don't want to lose you in this role, so I can't give you more. But then someone recognizes that talent and says, I'll give you that responsibility. So we don't want to be in that situation. We always want to enable people to grow, and we want to have a career path. As a total side note, a lot of people you need to talk to your employees about career path. Some people are quite happy doing their role and being in that role forever. And those people are equally valuable to the people that want to get into leadership, because we need people to do the hard work, the hourly work, the get dirty work, get in the weeds work in our business. And the people that are happy to be doing that, punching the clock, coming in and leaving and doing a good job, those people are invaluable to your operation. But understanding career path for people too is important. So the other scenario I'll get to is in a restaurant, we often take our best server and say, you should get into management. And then they say, I don't want to be in management. And you say, no, but it would be really good for you. And then they say, okay, yeah, I'll give it a try. And then about 3 months later, they come to you and either say one of two things. I quit is the first one, or number two is, I want to go back to being a server, because they don't want the responsibility. We wanted to heap it on them because they were such a strong performer where they were that person who was just happy doing what they're doing. And we forced more responsibility onto them and they didn't want it. And as much as we tried to convince them they did, it wasn't right for them. So number one is have a conversation. Number one is identify the people you want to give more responsibility. If someone's already struggling, do not add things to their plate. Number two is have the conversation. So if you identify a high performer, understand a couple things here. If you add something to their plate, their performance could drop, and you could sour them, you could lose them, you could overwhelm them. So understand what they want, and then as you start adding things to them, make sure you're not, and this is a term I use, you're not breaking their neck. Make sure the new responsibilities clearly and easily align with their current responsibility. So if I have someone who's in inside sales and their job is to cold call all day, and I say, I also want you to do my social media, those two don't align. If I'm on a call being out trying to generate sales all day, then you ask me to stop, do a complete 180 and sit down and start doing creative writing and detail work and putting things into, our social media generator and getting them out on all the different streams. That would be a situation where you're breaking someone's neck and their performance on their cold calling is going to drop. And you're not going to be happy with the social media responsibilities you've given them. They're not going to deliver. Or they're going to start delivering really highly in social media, and their cold calling is going to drop because they just figured out they really enjoy doing social media. So make sure they're aligned. These duties are aligned, and we're just kind of stacking gently and slowly, letting people get acclimated. And that's not 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, they're really doing a great job. Let's give them more. Really let them settle into the job and empower them to have influence and effect on these new opportunities they're giving them. I hope I answered that. Oh, hold on. We have one here. Career paths are so important. Help your employees maximize their gifts and potential. Yes, absolutely, Caitlin. Thank you. Bang on as usual. Matt, what else do we have? Should a business looking to grow expand production capacity or sales effort? Okay, cool. So let me share a story with you, or a scenario anyway. Oftentimes I'll go into a business and they'll say, Corey, we really need to hire, let's say in this example, a general manager. And after we go in and do our due diligence, first of all, I would say, what's this general manager? What do you see them doing? Well, they're going to run sales and operation. Okay, so when we look at that, no general manager is coming to the table with equal parts ops and equal parts sales. They're going to be a salesperson who learned ops or an ops person who learned sales. When it gets busy, we always know people resort to what they know first. I'll go back to my restaurant days. If you promote a kitchen manager into a front of house manager, when it gets busy, you can always find that manager back in the kitchen. People just go to what they know and where they're comfortable. And so if you have a business where you think we need more sales, hiring a general manager probably isn't the right move. You should probably hire a director of sales. But oftentimes what we'll find when we do our diligence is say, I understand your need for more sales. I get it. You want to grow your business, but your operation is maximized. If you bring in more sales in the door now, all you're going to do is disappoint your customers. You're not going to be able to deliver on time. Your quality is going to suffer. Your morale is going to suffer. You're going to get turnover. Your operation is already at the breaking point, and injecting more sales into the business today is not the right answer. Leveling the business up might be taking the operation and getting some capacity and experience in there to kind of start changing the environment, changing the culture, putting in process and procedure, streamlining the operation. That it's not going to show you immediate results, but it's going to enable you to scale and inject more business, more sales into the business. But oftentimes people think we just need more sales. But sales are only the right thing to do when you can deliver on those sales on time and with quality. So that's my answer to that. And without knowing a specific business and having a specific conversation, I can't really speak too specifically to it. But that brings us right to our 30 minutes, Matt. So I don't know if we had any more questions there, but I can't answer them. So if you thought any of this was interesting and you have a question around any of this, we do have an opportunity to sign up for a free consultation on the website. There it is. I always say no sales, no weirdness, just help. We're here to help small business owners, and we're happy to walk you through, and you can leverage our experience and knowledge, and we're happy to give you ideas to get you there. We're here to support small business owners. If you have any questions, comments, you can also send them to me via email. You can like our LinkedIn page. That's a great way to keep in touch with us and get information as it comes out. We put out video blogs. We host this on our page, lots of different stuff. And another way and final way is to check out our YouTube channel. All these videos get posted up there. Matt does a great job cutting them up and posting them up there for us. But it's a great way to get video content and kind of leverage some of the ideas that we're presenting out to you. We do these twice a month, and the next one should be coming at you in about 2 weeks, I think. And we're hoping to have a guest on that live stream. If there's any topics you'd like us to cover or any questions you'd like to address, reach out, ping us, let us know. But until next time, stop grinding and start growing.